Our plan is simple. Socialism by Silvia Merrill, April 1943. The planners are having a heyday. Everyone has devised a means by which the world can be saved and social security assured for the working class. It is not an accident that the air is so full of schemes to give the working class a few crumbs. War stirs the social consciousness of all people. Men and women, both at home and in the battlefield, are asked to and do make supreme sacrifices. They naturally ask themselves some questions like, what am I going to get out of this misery? Will we have one war after the other? Isn't there some way we can end all of this? After the war, what? This is very dangerous for the capitalist system. A few crumbs must therefore be given to the workers. The capitalist gives the workers a little unemployment insurance, but he feels he is really getting cheap insurance against red revolution. That was the sentiment of the British industrialists towards the beverage plan, cheap insurance against red revolution. Real quick, beverage plan was basically Social Security. While the plan caused much discussion in the ranks of the working class and twice as much hurrahing among the liberals, the head of the British government, Churchill, made no comment on it. When Churchill finally did make a speech about his plan, he did not mention the beverage plan, but submitted instead what can only be described as a stall. Roosevelt's cradle to the grave plan was heralded in huge headlines in December. But in March, when it finally saw the light of day, there was much consternation among the liberals. It didn't even go so far as the beverage plan. Womp, womp, womp. Silvia then goes into some specifics about the beverage plan. If you want to know more about it, give it a Google. We're going to go ahead and skip past that boring stuff. The plan further ensures you no more than a subsistence level. We are asked to fight and for a better world, and the better world they promise is only enough to keep body and soul together. We can all remember from relief days that the subsistence level can mean a lot of different things to different people. We remember when food experts used to eat lunches prepared at the cost of a few cents, proclaim them good and nourishing, and proof that relief clients could live on 32 cents a day. I guess that was subsistence level if you had a good dinner to go home to. So the war will be over, and instead of plenty, we will once again have subsistence levels. The beverage plan is supposed to take care of you from the cradle to the grave. Upon examination of the concrete proposals, one notes that there is a provision for a childbirth grant and a burial grant. The only fallacy is that between the time you are born and you are going to have a rather difficult time grubbing along on the beverage plan. Beverage, not beverage. It's not a drink. You will get free medical and hospital treatment under the beverage plan, but the fact that the conservative medical profession has declared itself against socialized medicine and all public hospitals have never had the necessary facilities to care for the sick isn't answered by any specific proposals in the plan. This is typical example of capitalist planning. And it sounds a lot like America, if you ask me. Beveridge himself admits plan is no good. It is impossible to discuss every phase of the beverage plan here, as space does not permit it. Besides which, it would, in our opinion, be a useless task, since the whole plan is based on an economy of scarcity in a society where the basis for plenty exists. If once we understand that it is possible for society to provide health insurance commensurate with the needs of the patient and in line with the standard of living that is based on how much is necessary to maintain good, healthful living, and not how little you can get by on, it becomes meaningless to discuss the increase of $3.60 a week in unemployment insurance, such as the beverage plan provides. The problem is not how to provide unemployment insurance, but how to wipe out unemployment. The impracticability of the whole plan is stated by Beveridge himself. If we have mass unemployment, we may not be able to carry out the proposals in my report. We may give people money, but there won't be goods for them, and thus there will be poverty. I don't know how we shall continue productive employment after the war. When people say we cannot abolish unemployment, I say we have abolished it twice in my lifetime, during the last war and in this war. I simply won't believe it is impossible to abolish mass unemployment. Yet I do not know how it is to be done, and I do not even know whether anyone else does. Do we need a more lucid statement of the bankruptcy of capitalism? Do we need a clear statement of the worthlessness of a plan than the opinion of its author? He declares that the fundamental premise upon which the plan is built, no mass unemployment, cannot be achieved unless it is during war. And what is more, he admits neither he nor anyone else knows how to abolish mass unemployment. We socialists have a workable plan. It is quite true. Capitalism does not know how to abolish unemployment, but we socialists do. If capitalism, with its system of production for profit, its system of international rivalry for domination of foreign territories and trade, which produces one war after another, if capitalists, which keep millions subjugated and exploited, whether it be by its wage system or its outright suppression of colonial peoples, if this system cannot give peace and plenty to its people, socialism will. Socialism means production for use and not for profit. Socialism means internationalism. It means that one working class is not pitted against the others in wars. It means that one working man is not pitted against the other in the fight for a job. It means that one working class is not of the other by producing at lower wages than the other. The criteria for production under socialism would be, how much is it needed? Some people will argue that it can't work. It's utopia. We can only answer that capitalism has demonstrated that it can't work. A society organized on the basis of production for use would have more of a chance of working than our present economic system. Capitalist plan runs afoul of capitalism. Not only Beveridge has condemned his own plan without understanding that they are giving away the basic fallacy of the Beveridge plan, the liberal and conservative press writes that it solves no fundamental economic problems, such as the cyclical mass unemployment that swept the industrial world in 1929. Time magazine pointed out that, contrary to general pre-publication expectation, there was not a revolutionary idea in the whole report. And the conservative British weekly, The Economist, understood that the Beveridge plan was going to change nothing essential when it said that this was a plan for security of incomes up to a minimum level based upon existing schemes and existing methods. Let us not be taken in by all these plans now floating around. In actuality, there is nothing new about them. If you go to a library and look on the shelves for books on post-war plans, you will find hundreds of them. If you open them, you will see that they are not dated 1942 or 43, but 1917, 18, 19, and so on up to the present war. The thing to observe is that none of these people have been able to devise any kind of plan to solve the basic ills of capitalism. They all seek to do the impossible, make capitalism work. 2 world wars in 25 years, untold misery, poverty, and unemployment are the living facts that prove capitalism doesn't work, not for the working class, anyway.